These images were buried for a reason. What you're about to see. They never wanted public. History Unveiled. Let's go. A group photo with Teo Tavalli, Museum of Ethnology, Hamburg. This isn't a cultural exchange. It's a human exhibit. Pacific Islanders collected, photographed, cataloged, like artifacts. Museums didn't just display history. They displayed people. 1905, Belgium. The Senegalese village at the Universal Exposition. A pond. A staged African scene. Real human beings, on display for European entertainment. Human zoos. Millions paid admission. Nobody questioned it. 1937 /. A phrenologist measures a schoolgirl's skull. Reading bumps to determine intelligence. Personality. Worth. Pseudoscience taught in classrooms. Children learning they could be measured and found lacking. A man clamped into a metal frame. Head locked in position. This isn't torture. It's portrait photography. Victorian cameras needed long exposures. Move an inch, your face becomes a blur. So they built cages for heads. A photographer appears to photograph himself. Behind him, an adjustable head clamp. The device that kept subjects perfectly still. Sometimes for minutes. Smiling wasn't an option. Stillness was survival. The Ghost Dance Era. Johnny Baker, Vernon Day, and Sioux Leader Short Bull. Ghost shirts blessed by the Messiah, believed to stop bullets. They didn't. Wounded Knee proved that. 1890, over 250 Lakota massacred. Faith met gunfire. Gunfire won. January 4th, 1903. Coney Island. Topsy the elephant. Electrocuted in front of a live audience. A publicity stunt for Luna Park's opening. Thomas Edison filmed it. Entertainment had no limits. Neither did cruelty. Meet Tirpitz, a pig. Captured from the German Navy after the Battle of the Falkland Islands, 1914. She became the mascot of HMS Glasgow. A prisoner of war with 4 legs. War makes enemies of nations. Sometimes it makes pets of livestock. 1926, South Sumatra. Dr. De Geller rides a narrow-gauge mining train. Bocatim coal mines. Colonial industry. Beneath the casual photograph. Exploited land, exploited labor. A snapshot of empire at work. Deerfield, Massachusetts. A museum postcard. The Fort Room. An old whipping post on display. Once used for public punishment. Now preserved behind glass. History sanitized. The pain archived. China, circa 1900. 3 women locked in a kang. A wooden board around the neck, carried everywhere. Eating, sleeping, suffering. Public humiliation. Weeks at a time. Sometimes until death. The West had pillories. China had portable prisons. 1910, Korea. A Josian courtroom. A robed magistrate towers over kneeling defendants. Japan used images like this to mock Korean justice. Backward. They called it propaganda disguised as photography. Colonizers always need proof of superiority. Tientsin, China. A Boxer Rebellion prisoner moments before execution. The caption called it mercy. Western accounts described Chinese torture as inhuman, while their own soldiers posed with severed heads. Cruelty has no nationality. Only narrators. 1907 /. Maud Stevens Wagner. America's first known female tattoo artist. Former circus aerialist and contortionist. She met Gus Wagner in 1904. Agreed to a date if he taught her to tattoo. She married him, then covered her own body in ink. Stick and poke. Every line earned. A Victorian bathing machine. Rolled into the sea so women could enter water away from public view. Dippers, hired assistants, would shove bathers into the waves. Modesty was mandatory. Drowning was a risk. A successful beach visit meant returning alive. 1961, Fort Bragg. Harold Graham strapped to a rocket belt. Bell Engineering's jetpack. 21 seconds of flight. The future looked like this. Strapped to explosives. Hoping physics cooperates. We dreamed of flying. Reality gave us 21 seconds. 3rd London General Hospital. A display case. Eyes, ears, noses, pieces of faces. Early plastic surgery. Masks for soldiers disfigured in World War I. Spectacles hid the seams. War tore faces apart. Doctors built new ones. Piece by piece. 1932, England. The Dinosphere. a petrol-driven monowheel. Inventor John Archibald Purves behind the wheel. The future of transportation that never arrived. Some inventions change the world. Some roll into history and disappear. That was the strange side of history, the bizarre, forgotten, the unexplainable. Now we enter the battlefields, where humanity met its darkest hours. Berlin, June 3, 1945. The Reichstag in ruins. Allied bombs turned Nazi Germany's heart into rubble. The building that once roared with Hitler's voice silent. Empires fall, stone by stone. July 16, 1945. Winston Churchill walks through Hitler's destroyed chancellery. The man who refused to surrender, standing in his enemy's grave. Hitler died in a bunker beneath this rubble. Churchill walked out into daylight. Victory has a view. 1951 /. The German Federal Archive preserved this image. Original caption intact. Erroneous. Biased. Politically extreme. History isn't neutral. The people who write it never are. Graffiti inside the Reichstag ruins. Soviet soldiers scrawled their names on Nazi walls. Proof they made it. Berlin fell. And the victors signed the wreckage. Normandy, June 1944. USS LST 543 becomes the first landing ship to unload at Lobnitz Pier. Mulberry Harbors, artificial ports built for invasion. Engineering won the war before soldiers fired a shot. D-Day required more than bravery. It required logistics. A German gun emplacement on the Normandy coast. Destroyed. Guns with 10-inch bores. Concrete walls 13 feet thick. For massive cannons. Backup 88mm batteries. Allied aircraft reduced it to silence. Fortress Europe wasn't. June 1944. Casualties transferred from a Coast Guard rescue boat. The name on the hull, Miss Fury. Wounded men pulled from combat waters. Some would survive. Some wouldn't make it to the larger ship. Rescue boats don't appear in victory photos. They should. Normandy beaches at low tide. Landing ships unloading cargo. USS LST, 532, LST, 262, LST, 310, LST, 533, LST, 524, all visible. Barrage balloons overhead. Half-track convoys forming on sand. This is invasion. Not a single moment an operation. Thousands of moving pieces. May 11th, 1945. USS Bunker Hill hit by 2 kamikazes in 30 seconds. 372 dead. 264 wounded. Off the coast of Kyushu. 30 seconds. That's all it took to turn a carrier into a crematorium. Ensign Kiyoshi Ogawa, 22 years old. The kamikaze pilot who struck USS Bunker Hill. He knew he wouldn't return. To America, a terrorist. To Japan, a hero. To history, a photograph of a boy about to die. The aftermath. Remains of Bunker Hill pilots who tried to escape the flames. Kamikazes didn't just kill on impact. Fire chased survivors across the deck. Some made it. These men didn't. East Prussia, winter 1915. A funeral for German soldiers. Frozen ground. Shallow graves. The First World War was only beginning. They buried these men thinking the war would end soon. For more years of death awaited. Eastern Front. Second World War. Horses pulled chariots through endless winter. Modern war still needed horses. Tanks froze. Trucks stalled. Horses kept moving. The Eastern Front swallowed millions. Man and beast alike. Vietnam. Soldiers of the 1 of 7th Cavalry jumped from a Bell UH-1D Huey. Landing Zone X-Ray. The Battle of Ia Drang. November 1965. First major helicopter assault in history. The future of warfare arrived in the jungle. LZ X-Ray. The battle rages. For 3 days, 450 Americans held off 2,000 North Vietnamese soldiers. 234 Americans killed in the Ia Drang Valley. North Vietnamese losses, over 1,000. Both sides claimed victory. Both sides lost sons. Stalingrad, December 1942. Vasily Zaitsev and his sniper team. Zaitsev alone, over 200 confirmed kills. The Germans sent their best marksman to stop him. Zaitsev killed him too. In Stalingrad, patience was weapon. Soviet snipers entering a destroyed building. Camouflage cloaks. Silent movement. Every window a threat, every shadow a target. These men didn't charge. They waited, and waiting was deadlier. Hiroshima, the ruins. August 6, 1945. 80,600 people killed instantly. One bomb. Buildings vaporized. Shadows burned into concrete. A city erased before breakfast. This is what the atomic age looked like on day one. The mushroom cloud over Hiroshima. Smoke rising 20,000 feet. 6 planes from the 509th Composite Group. Enola Gay carried the bomb. Great Artiste measured the blast. Necessary Evil took photographs. 3 planes ahead scouted weather. Clear skies sealed Hiroshima's fate. One decision. One city. Gone. Korea. Endless lines of refugees trudging south through snow. Outside Gangnam, civilians blocked roads meant for military convoys. War doesn't pause for evacuation. The displaced walk, or die where they stand. A Korean girl carries her brother on her back, exhausted, walking past a stalled M-46 tank. Hangju, Korea. War machines frozen in place. Children still moving. Tanks break down. Humans keep going. Thousands of Koreans fleeing south. Traffic jammed at a narrow mountain pass. Chinese communist forces advancing behind them. No time to rest. Entire families. Everything they own on their backs. Running from an army that doesn't stop. Seoul, Korea. A brother and sister search empty cans for food. Homeless. Hungry. Huddled beside a small fire in a railroad station. War orphans. Millions of them. This is just one photograph. Refugees crossing a destroyed bridge over the Taedong River. Pyongyang behind them. Max Desfor captured this image. It won the 1951 Pulitzer Prize. A broken bridge. Unbroken will to survive. Aerial photograph. World War I trenches carved into the earth. From above, scars on the land. From inside, hell. Millions died in ditches like these. The ground remembers. These images survived because someone refused to let them disappear. The strange. The brutal. The human. History Unveiled. What they buried, we dig up. Subscribe. More truths are waiting.